Hello, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. I'm going to do my best to talk through my process for you, but thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your time with me today. You're going to get to see me create my own mould. Now, this is only, should I say, the second mould that I've created. I showed you the first one, which was the Jesmonite tea light moulds. Now, this one's going to be some funky glass holder. I meant funky glasses holder. I can't get my words out today and my teeth are not sitting right. Anyway, for people that are proficient in moulds, I apologise. I learn from doing, even if it's doing wrong, I like to learn as I go. It's like going on a little exploration for myself. So come on this journey with me. It might be a little bit bumpy. The end result's good. How I get there, I've probably got to perfect. So this is a white, like cardboard board. I can't remember the official title, but I knew that I could create my sides from that. I've used that before. The one thing that still eludes me is how to get something that releases from your silicone when it has cured so that you can reuse it over and over if such a thing exists, rather than having to rip it off. And I tend to not use my silicone sparingly. I like to create myself a good chunky mould, which I suppose I can do in a way because I'm not selling them. However, I would like to think of cost-effective ways to get silicone, because at the minute I'm just buying these like starter packs or trial packs from Amazon, and the actual silicone mould itself's good, but like I say, I'm a bit too generous with my chunky moulds. Just want to say, Claire, you got to be super proud of me. That's Claire from Claire's Crafty Corner. Look at me using a glue gun, finally. I'm slowly learning out how to do things crafting. But I do also want to shout out Heather's Treasures. If you've not visited Heather's YouTube channel, go over there, show her some love, say hello from me. She makes the most incredible jewellery. She's great at art, but she's currently doing a mini like house. So I don't think I'm articulating well. So she's got this house and she's creating mini furniture in there, and she's just blown my mind away with how she's making her own cabinets in her kitchen, and she's just done this amazing corner cabinet. So pop over and see Heather's Treasures video, say hello from me. Anyway, let's get back on with where I am, Sharon, because you are definitely digressing. So you can see I've created my three sides and my base and made sure it's going to fit in there. Now the the hot glue gun was to ensure none of the silicone was going to leak out. And now I've got the film in there that I use for, it's the cellophane film that I normally put on my sculptures, because in my head I'm thinking, well, if resin releases from it, surely silicone's going to release from it. And it did, but not as easily as I thought it would be. But I've just put the final door on there, so it's in its little silicone coffin. I believe it's all snug. It's got plenty of gap, like I said. I'm very generous with my silicone around it, and I feel that nothing's going to leak out. So I use this silicone rubber. It's on Amazon. I'll put a link in there. I'm not affiliated with any of the products I'm sharing with you. I'm just exploring and showing you. But if you do have any recommendations that you can share with the art community, pop it in the comments there. I would really value people that are very proficient in here sharing any recommendations. I really like shiny molds, so if you've got any recommendations on that where I can buy it in bulk so it's more cost effective. Not that I think I'm going to go into any silicone mass producing or anything like that, but if I do want to explore from my own designs when I create it with clay, I just want that as an option. I like to keep myself amused, what can I say? What I did enjoy about this silicone pack is you get everything you need in there. You get your part A, part B, mix it together. You get your stirring sticks, you get your glove. There's even like a little measuring cup. So I'm assuming that this is designed for people that's going to make small molds, not like the one I'm trying to use. So I did actually end up using 2 packs for this. So like I said, not cost effective, but I was committed, and once I've poured half of it in, I'm thinking, oh, can I add another brand on top of it, or do you have to stick to the same brand? So proficient people out there, let me know. Can you mix it up, or do you have to stick to the same brand if you run out? Just curious. So you stir this in the sate until you can't feel any drawing on there. Well, I couldn't feel any drawing from the start, but it said to mix between 3 to 5 minutes. So I went to 5 minutes and I stirred from the bottom and pulled it up to try and make sure I'm scraping around the sides. and I believe you've got 12 hours, if I remember from the box, until it cures. So like I do when I'm mixing my Jesmonite, I gave it a little tap around the side and the bottom to try and help release any bubbles, but it does say that over time they will come to the top. Now when I did release this, there was no obvious air bubbles around where the sculpture was, so I was quite happy with that. And it recommends you pour it from a height to help reduce the bubbles and from your highest point. So that's what I did, and it appeared to work for me. But again, if anybody's got any hot tips out there, share it with the art community. I think at this stage as well, this is where I got nervous, because I'm thinking if I have any leaks and I haven't had my hot glue gun covering all the potential leaks, it's going to start coming out. So I was very relieved to know that there was no leakage, and I did make sure that it fully covered the top, and I was trying to keep it as level as possible so that when you are putting your silicone down to put your substrate in there, whether it be Jesmonite, whether it be resin, it's going to cure level. Now I've saved you a lot of time watching me pick this away centimetre by centimetre. I mean, there was a couple of, once I got this particular first side off, I did start to pull off really good chunks, like I got one side off. So I had bigger improvements than my first mould, but it's still a pain. I'm being very careful here not to mark my silicone in any way. It's got that lovely iridescent film on it, but I do pull that off. But yeah, I think this part took me, I'm not going to lie, about 20 minutes to half an hour. You're not going to see that whole process, but you get the idea. The next challenge that I had to overcome, and I didn't think this out beforehand, was when you've got such a large piece that you're creating the mould of, what's your exit strategy? How are you going to get it out of there? Remember, it's quite chunky and thin, and it got some complicated shapes for the silicone to come out. So you see that this is about where I think about, how am I going to get it out there? And I really wanted to get it out there because it was a present that Neil got me, and I really love this one. It sits on my windowsill very proudly with my glasses on. I remembered when I purchased some silicone molds from other people that they'd cut them down the centre, and I know that if you push it together correctly and put tape around it when it's time to pour in, it does seal it again. And sometimes you do get a little mark where that seal's been, but more often than not it's very subtle. So I'm being very brave, because remember, I've spent a lot of money. I've never cut silicone before, thinking, is the correct way to do this or not? So I chose to do most of the cutting behind, so if there's going to be any issues, that's where the line will be, but I'd still needed to do a little bit at the front. But yay, it came out. So we're now on to the next stage, which is using my silicone mould and seeing what I can produce with it. It's getting exciting. So I'm dusting my mould, ready for me applying my Jesmonite. I've done the lips with a luster pigment, which is the antique rose gold, and it's Resin Essentials, and then I dust the base with the colour cottage gold. The Jesmonite I mixed up, you could see the quantities there. That's roughly how much it took to fill this mould to the top. And it was an interesting experiment for me, which is if you add your powders, what kind of colour do you get? Now it does work, but it is a very diluted colour, because if I was to add this colour into resin, it would be so bright and vibrant. Having said that, you still do get a colour, and you've got a video coming up where you see me use the different pigments in some other tea lights I've got coming your way, and they give a very nice, I want to say, pastel colour. But yeah, my mould also, I taped it together to make sure there was no leakage, and that's what that tape was around. So I carefully made sure that I'd pushed together the cuts. Now within this, I am adding a little bit of the Jesmonite pigment, because I wanted to create a little bit of that marbling effect. Now Jesmonite pigments, as I've said in my other videos, will hold very, very strong the colour of this really opaque Jesmonite. But have fun, play around, see what you get, and we're going to come to the reveal soon. So I am going to let you relax and maybe listen to a little bit of music and give you a rest from hearing my voice. So I've just repeated the process, and you see me repeat the process with, in total I had 3 different combinations. Now I love the lips and doing the lips, but I think the colour choices probably weren't the best, and you might even consider just leaving your Jesmonite natural where the lips are. But I wanted these to have a little bit of fun, so I first of all come across and add glitter to the lips in the colour that is on there. And then I had a dream and I didn't enjoy it, so I came back and I changed them, and the only lip that I left the same was the pink one, and then I came back and turned the purple and the orange one into red lips. Now I'm quite happy with that choice. For me it works, but the you may choose to keep them all one colour, so I am going to do a few sets with just the plain lips, and I'm also going to come and have a go at using this mould with resin and see how it works with resin also. But I just love the quirkiness of these. I love working with Jesmonite, the instant gratification you can get, or the different looks you can get, because I think resin is beautiful. I will continue working with resin as well as oils, acrylics, charcoals, but as a medium resin is absolutely beautiful for mixing it. But I think there's a place for Jesmonite as well, and I think specifically when I'm doing pots, candle holders, plant pots. I know I've said pots, but plant pots, whether it be for little plants or candles, love those, or such as this. I think that really adds a different element and value. So I'm a real believer in some things added more value depending on what substrate you're working on. Anyway, you can see me now. I'm using my red lips. I'm happy with them. I'd had a sleepless night leading into this until I changed my red lips, and I'm happy. So I'm just going to leave you with a little bit more music, and then I come in at the end for a review. But I would love to know your thoughts. What do you think to these? What do you think to Jesmonite? Have you just started playing around with it? Claire from Claire's Crafted Corner, she's got some really great tutorials out there on it, so pop over and have a look at that. And what colour choices would you like to see? Now these will be available on my Etsy store as well as different combinations. But yeah, I want to say thank you for hanging out with me. It's been a pleasure. Alright, we are here for review time, and I love these. They are so funky and so weird and so wonderfully practical at the same time as not. What would your colour combination be? Now, I had a day where I was making choices with colours and they weren't the best, and so usually when that happens it sits on my mind and I'll dream about it and I'll come up and I think, right, no, back to basics. So I was okay keeping the lips pink here, but the other two, it distracted. For me, I wanted the lips to be red. But I wanted to show you my mould. Now, wow, it's only my second mould I've made and I am on a steep learning curve with them. So I managed to create 2 moulds now, and they're very good, high quality moulds. I can use them over and over. I'm very happy with them. However, how to make them is a learning journey for me, and I managed to make one fairly okay, but it's the removing of the packaging around it that I'm struggling with. In an ideal world, I'd love to reuse and reuse, not have to pull something off bit by bit. I thought that cellophane wrap, the textures that you get through it, looks like it's got that wood grain still, and you know what, they're not perfect, there's still air bubbles. But I do love when you put too much pigment in and you get these actual cracks in there. So they're very rustic, but it's so cool. Oh, there goes my bush. I put him there because I thought it looks like it's the hair. Anyway, I am going to try this with resin to see how this mould holds up. But I'd be interested to see if I use resin, if it's still going to hold strong. But I wanted to show you something that was on the bottom of this one here. Now, that came from itself, and I can see a bird or an eagle taking flight or something. I just love it. Can you see that, or is it just me? Anyway, look at the details of some of this. Now, you can see where I've put the gold dusting through there. That's added some value. You might want it more clean. Sorry, excuse my nails. I've been working very hard in the studio today, so they're not the best. But yeah, I love this combination. Look at the detail of the nose. Now, you may choose to keep your lips just the plain colour. And here's the black one. Love him. It was originally purple, so you can see purple coming through there. Look at his pores on his nose as well. And I love this one. It's almost got like that terracotta coming through. Anyway, I hope you didn't mind me sharing the process that I took to create this mould. I hope you don't mind me sharing this particular set that I've got. Now, if you've got any colour combination requests, let me know and I'll have a go at doing that for you. Other than that, I will see you on the next video. And yay, I'm loving playing with all these new things. See you on the next video. Bye.